Hola, clase! I'm back with another award-winning, action-packed screencast on this, the Bruins opening night. So I made the colors into a Bruins theme. It's going to be absolutely awesome because we're talking about grammar. We're in Capítulo 2, Gramática 1. All of your assignments will begin with 2.3, and it's going to be about el verbo tener. Now, tener means to have, and in Spanish, this verb can be used in many different ways. But we're just learning it now. We're just beginning, so we're going to start with the basic ways that this verb is used. But this is an extremely important and useful verb for studying Spanish, and you're going to see that now just with two verbs, just with el verbo ser and el verbo tener, which ser is to be, tener is to have, and all of the vocabulary that you already have, this is going to open up a whole new level of descriptions and ways that you can put sentences together. So this is a really important verb, and this screencast is going to go through the notes and give some examples of how we use el verbo tener. So now we'll take a look at the notes, and you should download these from Schoology, pull these into Notability, and just like on the last time with ser, you want to fill these out exactly as they appear here. So you can pause this video, go back to it, whatever you got to do. But you notice we start off with the subject pronouns. Again, this is exactly the same thing we had on the ser notes. And it's not because I'm trying to make your lives difficult. It's because I want you to really understand how this works and understand that yo is I, and it's always in this box. So when you go to the yo form of any verb, it's going to be in that box, and you're not jumping all over the place and matching this to this, and to is not they, and all that stuff. See how you make a mess? And I demonstrated that before. So let's scroll down to tener. And again, tener means to have. In the next slide, we will show different ways to use tener for our purposes. So again, pause this if you have to. Write these down exactly as you see them. The conjugations, the spellings, okay? And again, conjugations are the forms of the verb, and in Spanish we have 6. The pronunciations for these verb forms, these conjugations, are yo tengo, tú tienes, él, ella, or usted tiene, tenemos, for nosotros tenemos, vosotros tenéis, and then ellos, ellas, or ustedes tienen. And make sure that you're not just saying, the very common mistake is people just say tien. The ending in Spanish is very important, as you guys know, with masculine and feminine and all that. So make sure you're saying the correct ending, because tienes and tiene, even though they're only one letter different, mean two completely different things. Tú tienes is you have, and ella tiene is she has. So just be careful with that. Okay, write these down exactly as you see them, and don't forget the translation so you can look back and know quickly what these conjugations actually mean. And again, you want to always make sure that yo goes with tengo and tú goes with tienes. There's no jumping around, going to different boxes. Okay, that's why I give you the chart. The chart, in the grand scheme of things, the chart doesn't really matter that you can fill out the chart, but it's a way to organize your thoughts and organize your notes. So maybe if you're a visual learner, you can remember, well, tenemos, I don't remember what it means, but I know it's on the top right, and the top right is always nosotros, so it means we have, because tener is to have, and nosotros tenemos means we have. So you can walk yourself through it that way. Now this slide is actually the second page of the notes. And it's not much. There's not much there, but I still want you to fill this out and take a look at this. And we're going to talk on the next slide about some different ways to use the verb tener. But this is a really important way, especially because we know the numbers. Really important way to use tener. So we use tener to talk about edad, which is age. So when you ask somebody ¿cuántos años tienes?, that literally translates to how many years do you have? Because tienes means you have, right? But we would never ask somebody in English, how many years do you have? We would say, how old are you? So ¿cuántos años tienes is asking, how old are you? And you have to answer in the same format. You have to say, I have however many years. So tengo means I have, and then you're going to combine that with your numbers that we know 0 through 100 so far. So tengo 13 años would be I have 13 years, or I am 13 years old. And that's how we talk about age in Spanish. And now to finish up, we're going to go over some uses for tener. Tener has many uses in Spanish, and we're not even going to cover them to start off here. But for our purposes, these are a couple things that we can use tener for. And these again can really open up your descriptions, and when I have you write sentences and paragraphs, you have a lot more available to you that you can actually say now and put into a sentence, because we can not only just say what people are, and how people look, we can say what they have. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're going to do with tener. So we start with physical descriptions. So hair color, we already know a little bit about hair color. For example, if I say yo soy rubio, well, I'm obviously not, but this is the example. Soy rubio means I am blonde. That's describing what I am. But now that we know how to use tener, we can actually, scroll over here for a second, we can actually say tengo, I have, el pelo rubio. I have blonde hair. So that is a little bit different. That's a different way of saying the same thing. Instead of what I am blonde, you can say what hair color I have. Tengo el pelo rubio. And it actually sounds a little bit more Spanish. Sounds a little bit more fancy. Tengo el pelo rubio, soy rubio. Right? There's more words there, so it makes you sound a little bit more fancy. We can also say eye color because it's part of our vocabulary for this chapter. We can say tengo los ojos, and then you have to pick an eye color. Well, I'll just choose verdes. Sorry. Tengo los ojos verdes would be an example of how to use tener to indicate eye color. So physical descriptions. Now you don't just say tall, short, funny, etc. You can say what people have. They have a certain color hair, or they have a certain color eyes. Age, we just talked about age. We use tener for that. I am 25 years old would be tengo 25 años. I have number years. I have a number of years. Tengo 25 años. I have 25 years. I am 25 years old. And really, this one's the most obvious for our possessions. What do you have? So this is kind of the same thing as hair and eye color, but it's actual possessions. It's not something on our person. I have a new house would be tengo una casa, because that's how you say a house, una casa. And then one of our vocab words, nueva. Tengo una casa nueva. So you can take a look at this, and I'll zoom it out a little bit so you can see the whole thing. But this is how we're going to start using tener, and these are three very easy ways. And obviously I did all of these in the yo form, tengo, 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 all over the place, but if you want to say you have a new house, you say tienes una casa nueva. If you want to ask somebody if they have a new house, it's the same thing. ¿Tienes una casa nueva? Just say it like a question. So this should get you started with tener. Make sure you fill in everything. And these aren't notes, but you can always come back to this. You can find it through, if you're on Schoology.com on the website, you log into my course, it'll be the EduCanon link at the bottom left when you log in there. Or you can just go into the materials folders, and again, this is 2.3, El Verbo Tener, Gramática 1, first grammar point of the second chapter. And you can come back to this and listen to this awesome screencast anytime you want. Okay? Hasta luego.